Welcome back, and now let's get the show started in earnest. In February and March this year, Nigerians will head to the polls to elect the country's next president, parliament, and state governors. As the campaigns kick off in full gear, there are concerns that the upcoming process may, it may encounter some violence, and politicians have been advised to shun violence in all forms. On Monday, January 7th, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, presented the National Register of Voters to the 91, yes, you heard right, 91 political parties with a registered voting population of a little over 84 million. Now, to look at this very important topic with us this morning, it's my pleasure to welcome a political analyst, Chief Godi Uwazurike. Good morning.
Thank you.
You can see his red cap in relief. Next to him is a security expert, Reverend Laddie Thompson. Good morning.
Pleasure is mine.
And we have the former local government chairman, Abeokuta South in Ogun State, Mr. Yonju Likwede.
Good morning.
Who also does some security work, I might add. Now, before we get our teeth into this subject, we'll just take a short break, come back, and then run with it.
Nigerians know too well the devastation and harm that violent conduct of elections can cause. Perhaps that is why political parties, 14 of them, are gathered in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, to append their signatures to a document, pledging to maintain peace during the 2019 elections. Each candidate for the governor's seat in the northeastern state comes forward to sign the page. Candidates from PDP, APC, and UDP are, however, absent. In Jos, the Plateau State capital in north-central Nigeria, political party chairmen, traditional rulers, security chiefs, religious leaders, and officials of the election body are present to witness the signing of the Peace Pact, which binds participants to their promise to hold peaceful campaigns and elections, devoid of hate speech, mudslinging, and physical acts of violence. Still in the north central, in Minna, the Niger state capital, the MOU signing takes a different form, with the agreement being between the election body, INEC, and the duo of the Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers and the National Association of Road Transport Owners.
To partner with INEC in delivering election personnel and materials promptly on election day, and to undertake reverse logistics. INEC is particularly thrilled by the content of this MOU because it specifies the roles of the leadership of the unions in ensuring proper behavior on the part of the drivers and other functionaries.
This should ensure the arrival of all materials and personnel to election venues by 8 a.m. It remains to be seen if all these signed pacts and awareness campaigns will lead to peaceful conduct before, during, and after the elections.
All Progressive Grand Alliance.
Gathered here are 33 governorship candidates, including Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State, security agencies, and INEC officials. They're here to commit to the realization of peaceful and credible elections in the state and also sign a peace pact. The aim of the pact is to avoid a recurrence of the violence that erupted in 13 out of the 23 local government areas in the state during the party primaries last year. The peace agreement is organized by the Independent National Electoral Commission and the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue with the support of security agencies.
I want to commit everybody in Benue State to a peace pact
And we're saying the contestants, because you're the leaders of your parties, you're the leaders of your people, you're the leaders of your own followers, so they can talk peace to your followers.
Police and other security agencies. We are for safety, we are committed to security, we are going to ensure adequate security and high level of professionalism.
Although the major opposition candidate from the All Progressives Congress is not in attendance, the party chairman endorses the Peace Pact.
We are here for peace and we'll make sure that the peace in the state.
Governor Samuel Otom cautions INEC and security agencies against unprofessional conduct.
The only thing that will give confidence is when INEC and the police are not biased, they ensure the right thing is done, they ensure the rule of law and due process is followed. Once that is done, I can assure you there will be no other alternative than to ensure peace.
With all the candidates supporting the peaceful conduct of the 2019 general elections, political parties have their work cut out for them, as they now have the mandate to prevail on members to be civil in their electioneering campaigns.
Welcome back. Now let's get the show on the road. Now, Chief, based on what you have seen so far, do we have any cause to worry about these campaigns before the elections?
Yes, we do.
Oh dear.
And we have every reason to worry because at the moment, the thugs, those I call thugs, they are killers, armed robbers, they are holding everybody to ransom. If you are holding any rally today, you go to the police will tell you we approve or we don't approve. But that's only one part of it. They will send people. But those who determine whether the rally will be peaceful will always be the thugs of your opponents, the thugs you did not hire, and the thugs you hired. So if you offend any of these people, you're in trouble. If there are factions, you must take care of the two factions, like happened in Lagos recently. You have one faction supporting one part of the party that lost. Now the part of the party that won patronized the other faction of the National Union of Workers and so on. By the time they hired these people, come and keep guard, the other people said you ignored us. Trouble started. In all parts of the country today, this is the scenario. Even in local villages, you must patronize the people. The only problem we have is that innocent people die. If thugs die, I have no problem with them. They are ones who volunteer to die. But me coming to hear my candidate speak, I'll become a victim. All those journalists who were shot, they were there to do their job.
Yes.
And up till now, nobody has visited him in the hospital. Instead, we hear stories of somebody visiting the head of the other faction, lining up. We even hear of police guarding the man, as always. But what about the innocent victims?
Chief, when you were opening, you said the thugs that you enumerated the kinds of thugs that are there.
Yes.
Then you said the thugs you hire.
Yes.
So the parties who are having the rallies are also hiring their own
They
thugs.
hire thugs, the opponents hire thugs, then the thugs who are ignored will also come in to show you why you shouldn't have ignored them.
Different categories of thugs.
Different categories of people, troublemakers. That's actually how they eat. When the election is over, they go back to their job, which is armed robbery, car snatching, murder and everything. But for now, they feel justified. And if your party is the party in power, with support of the police, you can do anything. Look at what's happening in Kwara State.
Pastor Lade Thompson, are you in support of what he just said?
Three
categories of thugs.
I would have loved to disagree with him. I would have loved to. But I think this is a very serious issue because it has to do with lives, human lives. But what I want to observe is that the thugs are actually the cheapest part of the food chain. If we're looking at the philosophy of political violence, the thuggery aspect of it are the least intelligent part of the chain. There's the chain of command. We have a culture of violence. You see, politics is contention. And if we want to look at this thing properly, if we want to situate it properly, we need to look at the fact that behind the violence, there's a whole body of thought. The value of human worth in Nigeria, the history of political thuggery, and why it happens at all. I mean, if I give you a fire example, for instance, the amount of violence that went on in Nazi Germany was not Hitler's fault. If you listen to, from Hegel, Feuerbach, to dialectical materialism, what's his name again? Karl Marx. The theory that will support the violence and lower the value of life was supplied by the thought processes that had been built up. In Nigeria, it's exactly the same. You can trace it all the way back and understand why blood will be shed. It's painful.
But with all this education that's going on, Mr. Likwede, isn't there any way that this can change? Or is it too late to start changing things for this particular elections of 2019?
Well, let me take it from my pastor here. The values, first, the foundation. Now, African is not peculiar to Nigeria. Let me even say the third world. We're very bad losers. Number one, we do not incorporate, when we win, the winners, it is winner takes all. These two factors, plus the fact that politics here is not a secondary profession.
It's now an occupation.
It's an occupation, okay? So life is threatened, according to politicians. And also, the followers of those political people that wants to run is threatened for 4 years minimum. So there is a desperate thing that is created. And once people's lives become desperate or threatened, there is a tendency for violence. That's the thing. The second point is that, like Chief said, these political thugs form associates. I don't want to use, they are rented. Associates. They are members of political parties. And they try to ensure that when things are happening, people, according to them, are safe. But how do you resolve this when you find thugs covered by, in the same car with maybe a chief executive of a state? Now, how do you resolve it when national or road, whose background is just about, when we want to take over government, it has to be violent, are now being major in campaigns and whatever? How do you talk about when